a great change, like figuring out like when you need to make changes, and knowing yourself is most important thing. So I'm gonna go to the topic right now. So the topic you chose, which you coach on and you specialize on, imposter syndrome. So those who our listener doesn't know about it, can you explain to them what actually imposter syndrome is and how is it affecting our life and career?
Of course. So it's something that has been around for a long time. So it was originally, or the phrase was originally coined in 1978 by two psychologists, Dr. Suzanne Imes and Dr. Pauline Clance. They research on high achieving academic women, and what they found was these women were obviously highly accomplished, were doing extremely well in their careers, but they didn't believe in their success, they didn't believe in themselves. And they found that these women would be saying things like, I'm going to get found out, I'm a fraud, I've been through some kind of deception, it's pure luck that got me here. And this is then what was the catalyst for their work over the years. Although their original research was around women, further research has been done, as I mentioned, to say that actually 70% of us will struggle with this at some point in our lives, and it isn't just women that struggle with it. It sometimes seems that way because I think women are sometimes more open about their emotions, what they're going through than men, but it is something that that can happen to anybody. It's also, it's not a psychological condition. If it was looking at that psychological spectrum, it falls into normal functioning, so you don't necessarily need to see psychotherapists for this, but it is that kind of shared experience. It isn't, again, if we're thinking of that continuum, not at the psychologist end of things, in normal functioning, but it's not in prime functioning. It's not necessarily where we want to be. And this is where coaching can maybe bridge that gap. And as I said, what we often find is people that are struggling with this on some level know that they are good enough. They just don't feel that they're good enough. And that's what that gap is. And it's then realigning that to help them get that real inner confidence to actually feel. This imposter syndrome can ebb and flow over time. So in my own situation, it's that 3 to 6 month learning curve. It can change for everybody. You can also feel it in one aspect of your life and not another. So it's not like you necessarily feel like an imposter in everything you're doing. An example could even be, you know, you've got a CEO, they are very comfortable giving presentations to their whole company, it could be thousands of people, but when they have to give a presentation to the board, they may feel like an imposter. So it can be really specific sometimes in terms of where these feelings show up and how they show up for them.
So it's like individual thing. So it works for different person in a different way. Sometimes like they're fine with the thousands of people, but sometimes it's 10 people and they're not comfortable dealing with the situation. So do you think it's like a confidence issue, or?
I think there is, it can get confused, I suppose, with confidence issues within that. And I know that often we work with people around confidence. I think it is also more around that inner self-worth and that unconditional self-worth. So often what we do is we say, I'm worthy if I do X, Y, and Z. So I'm worthy of doing this job if I do that. And unconditional self-worth is kind of almost taking away your actions from you as an individual, so that actually it doesn't matter what you do, you still love, respect, and having a confidence in yourself. I think that's what we need to work on when we're working with imposter syndrome.
Right. So in terms of like when you experienced it, like you mentioned, am I worthy of this job? Am I going to be able to climb the ladder? Or like, am I getting any growth? Or am I going to lose the job? So what was the main issue like you having when you're going through the situation? Is it lack of confidence or self-belief? What was it actually?
Yeah, so I think it's that self-belief. I think it's, and this has come after my own training on this, I didn't acknowledge at the time that inner critic, that self-talk that we've all got all of the time that's going on in our minds.
Yeah.
And I hadn't tuned into that. But when you're not tuning into it, you're just accepting what's going on. I use the example when I did start to tune into it. One day I caught myself, I dropped a pen, and in my head I said to myself, "You are so stupid," and it was said with such venom.
Yeah.
And once I tuned into that, I was like, okay, am I stupid, or am I just a little bit clumsy? Is this actually true? And then if you think about, we know words have power, beliefs, things like that. So actually, if you are saying things like that to yourself all day, every day, and you're not checking in on it, and you're not even aware that this is happening, because I wasn't aware. And once I tuned in, I realized how many times a day I said to myself, "You're so stupid," or "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
Like, what do you, if somebody else was saying that to you, you can imagine what the effect is. Imagine the effect if you're doing it to yourself. You are your own bully. So yeah, that was kind of, I think once I started to tune into that, or if I could have tuned into that at the time, I think I could have then challenged maybe what those thoughts were to then, and a simple question might be, is that true?
Right.
So in case, the example of dropping a pen, just asking, is that true? Am I stupid because I dropped a pen? Made me reframe it to maybe I'm a little bit clumsy.
Yeah.
Or think nothing at all. And I think that would have been that would have helped. But I think all of that self-talk then led to those feelings because they were unchecked.
So it's all about thinking on your head, like what we talk about all the time. So sometimes it's negative thoughts, sometimes uncertainty about the future, and also the past experiences like making us like that kind of situation. And I can totally relate to when I started my business. I felt like a stupid because I quit my job and everything and just gone all in and just about to get bankrupt. Sometimes I feel like, am I stupid? Am I that? I don't, because I'm not meeting my potential and also like quitting my job at the same time and going after something like we have no experience in. I don't know it's going to be work or not. So yeah, I can relate to that.